Welcome to this introduction to the program Life and Breath. So this batch which we are conducting online is batch number 29. The regular classes will commence on next Sunday, 2nd June 2024. Same time, 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. The batch is of 20 sessions and we will conduct one session every Sunday. Each session is of 1.5 hours duration. My name is Praveen Mankar. Those are my contacts, the telephone number and the email. I'm a pharmacist, a consultant and a trainer. I started learning this science in 2005 and I've been teaching this since 2011. We all face troubles in our lives. I would like to meet somebody who is trouble-free. If anybody is attending who is trouble-free, I would like to meet that person. So all of us have at some point of time in our lives, we face troubles, and troubles come in different shapes, colors, and sizes. Sometimes we have personal troubles. We have troubles of health. We have troubles of career or finance. We have troubles in relationships. We have troubles in responsibilities. And we sometimes face losses. We have professional troubles. We have problems of income and growth. We have troubles in position and power. We have competition and envy. We have inefficiency surrounding us. We have to face a bunch of lies. And we are always stressed in our professional arena. And then we have social troubles. We have to deal with deceit. We have to deal with appearances. Appearances are not necessarily the truths. We have to deal with obligations. We have to deal with comparisons. And we have to constantly adjust in lives. So our lives, and I've just selected 3 planes. There are other planes. There is a religious plane of life. There is a political plane of life. We live on multiple planes simultaneously, and therefore trouble comes to us from multiple directions. We are careful about our looks. We want to have good teeth so that when we smile, people don't comment on broken teeth or black teeth. So we brush regularly. We don't want people to comment about body odor, so we bathe. We take care of our nails. There is manicure, there is pedicure. We take care of our face. We take care of our hair, proper haircut, occasional coloring of the hair. So external appearances, the looks are very important in our lives. And we pay a lot of attention. We spend a lot of money in taking care of the externals. But are we careful about our internal organs? No, that is a question that we need to ask ourselves and answer it honestly. Am I taking care of my brain? Is there a way to clean my brain? Is there a way to maintain my brain? Is there a way to exercise my brain? Is there a way to keep my brain sharp at all times? I don't think we do give enough attention to this aspect. Do we take care of our lungs? And this whole course is about breathing and lungs, so you will know more about it eventually. Unfortunately, 95 to 98% of people don't know how to take care of lungs. Do we take care of the heart? Only when it gives trouble. Most of us are familiar with blood pressures and angiographies and angioplasties and so on and so forth. Do we take care of our kidneys? By the looks of it, no, because if you see the number of kidney transplant cases that have been growing in the country and the world, obviously we are not taking good care of our kidneys. Do we take care of the liver? The same story. Liver transplants are also increasing. Do we take care of our stomach? One of the most common problems, acidity, gas trouble, constipation, diarrhea, all these things keep happening. And we are constantly required to regulate the tummy and the bowels. Do we take care of our joints? I don't think so, because again, you will see an increase in the knee replacement, hip replacement. all these activities are increasing, which is a clear indication that the society is slowly, on the one hand, it is progressing, that all these medical sciences are developing, but it also is a poor reflection on the maintenance of health in the society. Do we take care of our muscles? People who go to the gym, they think that they take care of the muscles. But muscles can be taken care of even without going to the gym, by doing some simple things, unless you are into bodybuilding or into some physical activity like wrestling and boxing. Everybody has muscles, and the muscles are a very strong component of our longevity. Healthcare facilities are multiplying. Now, as I said, on the one hand, it's a good sign. On the other hand, it's an indication of the deterioration of health in the society. You will see a lot of hospitals coming up. So it means that the society is prospering. There is enough money to build hospitals, but it also means that there are more number of patients to deal with. We see a lot of gadgets in the hospitals. Modern hospitals are well furnished, well equipped with a lot of modern amenities. But it also means that complicated diseases are springing up. We have great facilities now. We have air ambulance. We have different kinds of quick response systems to take the patients to the hospitals. We have a plethora of medicines. And if you just happen to go inside a pharmacy, and you will see the number of medicines that are there on the shelves in the pharmacy, you will be astounded. The number of pharmaceutical companies that are increasing, and there are a few of my pharmaceutical colleagues who are attending here, some in very senior positions, some CEOs and some consultants, and they will tell you how the number of drugs have multiplied, and perhaps we are consuming more drugs than we are consuming food. Then insurance systems. And then there is a massive struggle to get the insurance companies to pay for all your medical expenses. So we are complicating lives as far as healthcare is concerned. And then everything is getting transplanted now. Organ donation and organ transplant has reached a different level altogether. So healthcare facilities are multiplying, in a sense, is good news for the diseased, but bad news for the society. That means we are encouraging occurrence of disease so that this industry flourishes. Now on the screen, you will see a 0, and I can add any number of zeros and they still don't have any value unless I put an integer in front of the 0. Then the zeros acquire a value. On their own, standalone, 0 has no value. Only you can add value to the zeros in your life. All the money you earn amounts to 0. All the work you do amounts to 0. All the family that you have around you amounts to 0. All the dreams that you have and the aspirations you have amount to 0 if you don't have health. And the greatest example I can quote is Michael Schumacher, world racing champion multiple times. And today he is in coma and has been in coma for a number of years. And all his money, all his work, all his family, all his dreams have come to 0 simply because he has lost his health. So if you don't have health supporting you, then everything that you want to do in life will amount to nothing. In our personal life, do we pay attention to physical health? The factors are breath, solid food, liquid food, and rest. Yeah, Rima, you have a question? Rima Jain, you have raised your hand. Do you have a question? So coming back to the slide, physical health factors are breath, solid food, liquid food, and rest. And if you really look at it critically, we are not very careful with any of these things. We are not careful with our breathing. We are not careful with the quantity of food we eat, the quality of food we eat. We are not careful with the drinks that we drink. And we are definitely not careful with the amount of rest that we should be taking. Are we careful about mental health? Do we pay attention to mental health? Factors are external through our sense organs and internal through our thoughts. And you will see breath and thoughts have been written in a different color. These are the two subjects which we will be dealing with extensively in our course. Memories and habits are corollaries to the internal mechanism of the mind. We will deal with it in the course. Do we know the laws of life? Now, if you live in a particular country, then the country is governed by certain laws. And to give you a simple example, in India, we drive on the left side of the road. So I have a driving license which has been granted to me in India, and I know how to drive on the left side of the road. The steering wheel in most of the cars in India is on the right side of the road. But if I go to the US, I'll have to drive on the right side of the road because their law does not permit me to drive on the left side of the road. So I have to adapt to the law of the land, because if I don't adapt, then I'm breaking the law. And when I break the law, I'm liable for penalty or punishment. Now, all of us are living in this universe, all of us are living on this earth, and there are certain laws of the universe which govern living. Do we know the laws? Perhaps yes, and perhaps no. Sometimes we know the laws, but we don't take them seriously. And sometimes we don't even know the laws. We break the laws inadvertently and we get punished. And the punishment from the universe comes in the form of physical disease or mental trauma. But we don't understand that the physical disease is because I broke certain laws. And we also don't understand that the stressful life that I'm living is a result of breaking of some laws. If I was aware of those laws and if I knew how to follow those laws, perhaps I could have avoided the physical and mental stresses that I'm currently undergoing. So this brings us to deal with the troubles. And for that, there is this program called Life and Breath offered to you by Pratibimb Charitable Trust. And in this Life and Breath, we give you an opportunity. It is for you to take it or leave it. It is your life, so you have a choice. Live it as it is, or you have a choice. Transform it the way you want it. And this is where we come in. We enable you, we handhold you into this transformation. The transformation is the way I want it. If today I am in this state and if I'm say in the 20s, 30s, then I'm not walking like this. But eventually I will be seeing adults in my life or elderly people in my life who eventually face this situation. They are not stable on their feet. They need assistance. They need support. Sometimes they fall down. They need medical attention. So this is a possibility that can happen to any one of us in the future. It might be happening to some of us right now. Do I want to continue living like this, or do I want to live like this, irrespective of what age I am at? Do I want to be up on my feet, taking care of my own activities without support from external sources? Do I want to become self-sufficient? Choice is mine. Transformation is in my hands. It's up to me whether I want this transformation. And this is what Life and Breath promises you to give you. We also know that we all breathe, but do we breathe correctly? Have we been taught to breathe correctly? How much do we breathe? How much should we breathe? These are the questions which center around the breath. And most of us will have the following answers: yes, no, or I don't know. And this answer is valid for almost all questions. Yes, no, I don't know. How much do we breathe? Most of us don't know. Very few people know how much we breathe. How much should we breathe? I don't know. Or some will say as much as possible. Is that as much as possible right or wrong? We don't know. So how much we breathe How much should we breathe? We don't know. And that's the area where Pratibimb and life and breath comes in, because neither our schools nor our colleges ever taught us the first thing that we learned in life, which is breath. We learned a lot of exotic subjects. We learned a lot of intricate subjects. We have a lot of knowledge through our education and degrees, but nobody taught us about breathing. So here is a chart which will give you an idea about what an average adult does. So if you look at the extreme right column, you will see the total lung capacity 6,000 ml, which is 6 liters, roughly 5.5 to 6 liters is the average lung capacity of an adult. And if you look at the tidal volume, which is the volume of air that you breathe with each breath, it is only 500 ml. So per breath, you are utilizing less than 10% of your lung capacity. So if you ask any management guru, he will say this is hopeless capacity utilization. You have been given lungs 6 liters and you are using only half liter of those lungs. What are you doing? That's because we have never paid attention to this aspect of our life. And this figure is not about the Indians, this is about the world. An average adult uses less than 10% of his lungs. Can I improve? Most certainly. How much can I improve? Depends upon how much you want to improve. It's like asking a question, can I run? Yes, you can run. Will you win the Olympics? Depends on whether you want to win the Olympics and whether you are putting in enough practice to win the Olympics. But can I improve my running? Certainly. If I am running 100 meters today in 1 minute, I can probably run 200 meters tomorrow. If after 100 meters I am breathless, tomorrow I might be running 200 meters and not be breathless. So yes, I can improve. How much can I improve depends entirely upon me and my effort and my dedication and my commitment. Now that cannot be supplied by Pratibimb or life and breath. Commitment, dedication and effort has to come from you. Techniques, regimen, timetable can be provided by Pratibimb. Let's look at the breathing process, since this is the first thing that we started doing when we were born. So on your right side, there are lungs, and on the left side, there is the heart. Above the lungs, you will see in a small jagged circle, the letter O. That is the oxygen that we breathe in. So when we inhale, this oxygen comes into the lungs and it spreads into both the lungs. Then you will see that the lungs will expand depending on how much you are breathing. Then from the heart, impure blood in the form of blue dot is coming to the lungs. The oxygen burns the impurities in the blood. The burnt impurities convert into carbon dioxide and you will see the C going out of the lungs. So that is carbon dioxide being exhaled by us. In the process, the blue dot, which is the blood, gets purified, it becomes red and it returns to the heart. The heart is a pump. It pumps the blood all over the body. What does the blood do in the body? It collects nutrition from the stomach and distributes nutrition to various organs in the body, supplying strength and energy to various organs. It also does the job of collecting the dirt from the various organs, the broken down cells and the tissues. And this organic impurity is brought back to the lungs for incineration or burning, which is done by the oxygen that you breathe in. And this is how the purification of not only the blood, but all the organs of the body take place in the simple process of inhalation and exhalation. Now, this is a very simple mechanism, and we don't know how important or how crucial this mechanism is because nobody taught us this simple process in schools and colleges. Oxygen carbon dioxide exchange during inhalation and exhalation is one of the most important activity in your life. And eventually you will understand as we go along why it is so important. So here is the respiratory and the circulatory system schematically described. So on the bottom right side, you will see the human body with all its organs. Then you will see the heart with 4 compartments. Then you will see a pair of lungs and then you will see a nose. What happens in the body is that the blood collects all the impurities from various organs and takes it to the heart through the veins. The heart is a pump. One compartment of the heart pumps this impure blood to the lungs. So now the impure blood is going to the lungs. In the lungs, I breathe in air from the atmosphere, and along with the air, I bring in oxygen. Now, this oxygen meets with the blood in the lungs, and the impurities interact with the oxygen and they burn. So, the lungs are the incinerators that burn the impurities in your blood, convert them into carbon dioxide, and that carbon dioxide is sent out through the same nose when you exhale. The result is purification of blood, and pure blood goes back to the heart to another compartment, and the heart pumps that pure blood back to the various organs in the body, thereby enabling your body to repeat the cycle of depositing the impurities and collecting the nutrition. So all your internal organs, the brain, the heart, the liver, the stomach, the kidneys, the pancreas, the bones, the muscles, they are getting serviced by this mechanism. Remember in the earlier slide, I showed you we take care of our external appearances and cleanliness. This is the mechanism for internal cleanliness, but we are not aware and we are not taught. And this is where Pratibimb and Life at Breath will enable you to clean all your internal organs through a simple process of breathing. And that is why blood is considered as a garbage vehicle. The garbage vehicle which comes to your societies to collect the garbage which the municipality collects and takes it away every day. Imagine the municipality stops coming to your society to collect the garbage bin. What will happen? Eventually, garbage bins will pile up in your compound. There will be stench, foul odor. There will be mosquitoes, flies, cockroaches, rats, other rodents. There will be bacteria, fungus, and there will be infection in the society. So, clearing the garbage is an important health issue. Jatin, do you have a question? Jatin Mehta. Your hand is raised. Do you have a question? Okay. So your blood is actually like the municipal garbage vehicle which carries away all the impurities from the various organs in your body and takes it for incineration in the lungs. Therefore, purifying the blood is also an important aspect to enable it to carry more and more garbage away from your organs. Let us see what happens in the lungs. So here you have a red tube with a lot of impurities shown in the form of smiley faces. They are not actually smiling, they are wicked faces. And then you have the air tube, which is carrying oxygen. So when you inhale, this oxygen comes in contact with the impurities like this. There is a penetration of oxygen between the thin walls of your air sacs in the lungs. And that oxygen burns the impurities. So if there are 4 molecules of oxygen, then 4 impurities are burned. But the question is, this is happening with each breath. What is happening to the unburned impurities? So these impurities were not burned because there was little oxygen in your inhalation. So whatever oxygen you made available to your lungs, they burnt whatever impurities they could. They could not burn the impurities because the oxygen molecules were over. So these impurities keep on circulating in your arteries and veins, and they revisit all the organs where your arteries and veins are going. And then what is happening? This is happening. These impurities start settling inside the walls of the arteries and veins and the organs, and eventually they clog up the arteries, veins, and the organs. When this happens, the area available for the blood to flow has now diminished considerably. The heart is pumping at its regular rate, but the pressure is building on the heart and you become a blood pressure patient. Your BP shoots up because the lumen available for the blood to flow has narrowed. So what will you do? Nothing, because you don't know. There are no symptoms. Your body is an extremely resilient, resistant organism, and you don't know for a long time that this is happening continuously. The day your body starts feeling the pressure, then you will start sweating, you will get pain in your chest or your left arm, you will have palpitations, and you will get certain symptoms which will tell you, kuch to gadbad hai. Then you will go to the doctor. The doctor will examine your pulse and he will be alarmed. He'll say, my God, your pulse is racing, man. It's 90. It should have been 72. So he takes your blood pressure. Then he's alarmed. He says, hey, what have you been doing? Your blood pressure is 160 by 90. It should be 120, 80 or 110, 70. So you are a high BP patient. Let me give you a tablet. So he gives you 25 milligram of some tablet or 5 milligram of some tablet. And he says, take this morning and night, and probably you will be in better shape. So you go home, you buy the tablets, you consume the tablets, and you feel symptomatic relief. Why am I saying symptomatic relief? Because the tablet does not dissolve the impurities. The tablet makes you feel good. Either it expands the arteries and veins and facilitates the blood flow, or it makes the heart pump in a regular rhythm. So whatever the tablet has done, it has not cleared your arteries and veins. So the root cause of your high BP remains. You continue to breathe the way you are breathing. For 2 years, you are happy with 5 milligram or 25 milligram, whatever the doctor has prescribed. Then the symptoms recur. You go back to the doctor, he does the same checks and he increases the dose to double. Either gives you 10 milligram or 50 milligram. You come back home, another 2-3 years you pass happily, but that 50 milligram or the 10 milligram is not removing your impurities. The impurities keep piling up. After 3 years, you go back to the doctor, he does an angiography and he tells you there are 4 or 5 blocks in the heart. You need angioplasty. So he puts 2-3 drain pipes in your heart, for which he charges you a bomb. And you come back home happy that angioplasty has made you feel better. But angioplasty, 4 stents are put in only 4 small places, barely an inch or so. What about the entire network of arteries and veins which have been blocked? What about the arteries that are going to the kidney, to the liver, to the pancreas, to the brain? All these organs are also facing the same damage which your heart has faced. You did angioplasty on the heart. What about the other organs? So it is not a surprise that today there are lung replacements and liver replacements and kidney replacements and pancreas replacements and heart replacements. Why are these things happening? Because nobody is paying attention to the other organs. Everybody is talking of coronary heart disease. But this blockage is happening all over your body. And we are completely unaware that this is happening because simply I'm not breathing. I'm not breathing well because nobody taught me the importance of breathing. That was the driving mechanism for Pratibimb and Life and Breath, to introduce this subject to the masses in the society so that at least you can do a bare minimum of activity which will reduce your medical expenses and your distress and your financial troubles. So the result of poor breathing is blocks in the arteries and veins. Impurities pile up in the organs. Take the example of high BP and heart failure. Medication, angiography, angioplasty, and bypass. And finally, it is bye-bye. But it is not restricted to the heart. It happens to all the organs. And unfortunately, people are not aware that the same thing is happening in every organ. Liver, kidneys, lungs, joints, brain, spleen, lymph, gallbladder. Net result, diseases and organ failure. And what is the simple mechanism that will prevent this? Just breathe. Breathe properly. Learn how to breathe properly. Now, some of you may wonder, is it so simple? Then why are we having so much of medical science? It is so simple. And why are we having medical science is because people are not aware. And those who are aware are not diligent enough to practice. Brain Rain has raised the hand. Do you have a question? I don't know what your name is, but I like the name, Brain Rain. So maybe inadvertently you have raised your hand. Let's go ahead.
Sorry, my name is Adya, and मेरे parents भी ये देख रहे हैं. So I would request you if you can use a mix of Hindi a little as well, if possible,
ओके,
from your
हाँ
end.
हाँ बिल्कुल पॉसिबल, कर लूंगा.
Okay,
तो
thank you.
मैं दोनों कर लूंगा.
And my father has been through a bypass surgery 3 years back.
Okay,
So by the end of the program, if you can tell that if he can join the program or not.
fair enough. He can.
Thank you.
Yeah. And whatever I have said so far in English, I hope you have understood and you can explain to them.
Yes, of course.
अभी से मैं कोशिश करूंगा थोड़ा हिंदी थोड़ा इंग्लिश बोलूंगा. I hope others don't mind a little bit of Hindi here and there. Yeah. So thanks, Adya. So let's do an experiment. Okay, all of you can inhale and exhale. So please, my request, all of you, please sit straight. Please sit straight, all of you. And all of you inhale normally. Inhale normally. Feel the air entering your nose. Normal breathing. Don't do anything special. So when you are inhaling, obviously you have to also exhale. So exhale normally. So do this 5-6 times. Watch each time the air entering your nose and the air leaving your nose. So someone who is attending for the first time, Sachin, have you attended before?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, because I've seen your name, Sachin Sakunde.
Yes, sir. FDC, sir.
FDC. Yes, I remember Sachin Sakunde, FDC.
Yes, sir.
So let us see somebody who has not attended. Anyone here who has not attended?
I'm Rahul. I have not attended. This is the first time I'm attending it.
Okay, Rahul, could you notice air entering your nose and going out of your nose?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't mind, can you switch on your video? Good, thanks. Now, I'm talking to Rahul, but I'm talking to all of you. This Rahul is just an example, okay? So I want all of you to hold your palm in front of your nose and your mouth. Hold your palm in front of your, don't touch your nose or mouth. Just hold it a little away. And inhale and exhale. When you're exhaling, feel the air on your palms. All of you. Could you feel the air on your palms? Rahul?
Yes.
Rahul, you are a representative of the
Yes.
class. Whatever answer you give, I take it that the whole class is in tune with your answers.
Sure.
Okay. Now, all of you take a deep breath, inhale deep and exhale deep. Could you feel more air on your palm when you exhaled?
Yes.
Right. So I believe everybody has felt more air when you took a deep breath and you did a deep exhalation. Now, keeping the same posture, but don't do anything. Just watch me. I'm holding the palm in front of my nose and my mouth. I'm taking a deep breath. I'm exhaling through my nose. After finishing my exhalation through the nose, I will not inhale. I will exhale through the mouth. So watch. Inhale. Exhale through nose. Exhale through mouth. So without inhalation, I have followed up my exhalation through the nose with exhalation through the mouth. But make sure that you have exhaled completely through the nose and then exhale through the mouth. Can you do it, Rahul?
Yeah.
Keep your hand in front of your mouth. Take a deep breath, inhale, exhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Could you do it?
Yes.
अच्छा, thanks तृप्ति. तो नाक के सामने हाथ रखिए, एक गहरी सांस लीजिए, गहरी सांस नाक से छोड़िए और नाक से सांस छोड़ने के बाद बिना सांस लेते हुए मुंह से सांस छोड़िए. करके देखिए.
मुंह से बहुत कम कम निकलता है.
फिर से
Very less
करिए.
air comes out of mouth.
फिर से करिए. Do it again. Do it again. Dr. Lalita, could you do it? Just raise your thumb.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Great. Anybody who could not do it?
But only, sir, little air goes out, not a great volume of air is leaving.
No problem. But some air is going out. Correct?
Very little.
Try again. Is there anyone who says a lot of air goes out through the mouth? Anyone who has that experience?
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay. Manju
Yeah, lot of
Gupta.
air. Yeah, lot of air goes out from the mouth. Instead, more air goes out of the mouth.
Okay, so there are both opinions. Very little air goes out of the mouth and lot of air goes out of the mouth. Fair enough. Now, what does this tell you? This tells you a story that in your normal inhalation and exhalation, you are not able to empty out your lungs fully. You can still empty out your lungs by blowing through the mouth. It depends on individual to individual. Some people are able to empty out the lungs more, and some people are able to empty out the lungs less by exhaling finally through the mouth. So this is an indication that residual carbon dioxide remains in my lungs, and that prevents me from taking in more oxygen, and that prevents me from purifying my blood more. So this is another important aspect that you will learn in the course, how to increase complete exhalation so that I increase the volume of air that I inhale, and consequently I increase the volume of oxygen, which will enable me to purify my blood more, and more purified the blood, more the impurities are getting burnt, so lesser the deposits in my arteries, veins and organs, and lesser the damage to my whole body, and better is the upkeep of my health. So this is a very simple mechanism. The techniques of breathing will be taught to you from next Sunday onwards. So inhalation, air comes in, exhalation, air goes out, and exhale through the mouth, more air goes out. The more is variable depending on individual to individual. Now let's look at an important subject which most of us are fond of, money. So economics of breathing. So let's say there is a patient who is on oxygen life support. His requirement is 2 liters per minute. At 1,440 minutes per day, the oxygen he consumes is 2,880 liters. One jumbo cylinder that you get in the market is of 6,000 liters capacity. So annual consumption of this particular guy is 10,51,200 liters per year, which translates to roughly 175 jumbo cylinders. Each cylinder has a rough cost of 1,000 rupees for hiring the cylinder, not buying the cylinder. So you get 6,000 liters of oxygen for 1,000 rupees. So the annual cost is 1,75,000 rupees. Now, if this guy has to live for 70 years, he will spend 1,22,50,000 rupees only for buying air and oxygen in a cylinder. All this, you are able to breathe free. So you will see the advantages of maintaining your lungs properly. You will be saving a lot of money. Already there are people who are asthmatic who are spending money on inhalers. They need constant inhalation. People are having lung fibrosis. People are having ILD. People go in for lung transplant. All these things are happening around us simply because we have not taken care of lungs. So here is another promise of Pratibimb, that you will have robust lungs if you do the life and breath program with us, and if you continue to practice diligently and regularly. आप अगर प्रतिबिंब का लाइफ एंड ब्रेथ प्रोग्राम करेंगे तो आपके फेफड़े तंदुरुस्त रहेंगे, मजबूत रहेंगे, आपको पैसा खर्चा करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, आपको लंग्स की बीमारी नहीं होगी, आपके रक्त का शुद्धिकरण अच्छी तरह से होगा, और आप बड़ी बड़ी बीमारियों से और बड़े बड़े खर्चों से बच पाएंगे. तो ये हमारा दावा है, ये हमारा अनुभव है, हमारे बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स को इसका लाभ हुआ है, बाद में वो आपसे बात करेंगे. They will talk to you. Some of them will, who are attending, will talk to you about the benefits they have received in doing this program. अब मैं रास्ते से जा रहा था, सामने से एक समुदाय आ रहा था, हाथ में जलती हुई मशालें हैं, तलवारें हैं, लकड़ियां हैं, लाठियां हैं. तो मैं तो डर गया और डर के मारे मैं भागा. मुझ में डर पैदा हुआ, मेरे शरीर में एड्रेनालिन की पैदावार हुई. एड्रेनालिन जनरेटेड इन माय बॉडी, माय हार्ट स्टार्टेड पंपिंग फास्टर. मेरा दिल धक धक करने लगा, ज्यादा खून मेरे बाजुओं में और पैरों में दौड़ने लगा. अगर मुझे लड़ाई करनी थी तो मैं मेरे बाजू इस्तेमाल करता. इफ आई हैड टू फाइट आई विल यूज माय आर्म्स. इफ आई हैव टू रन आई विल यूज माय लेग्स. विद द एक्स्ट्रा ब्लड बिकॉज ऑफ एड्रेनालिन आई डिसाइडेड टू रन. तो ये हो गई मेरी जीवन की कथा. आपके जीवन की कथा ये है, when you wake up in the morning, सुबह से शाम तक, from morning to night, you are under some pressure, some stress, some tension. शारीरिक रिस्पॉन्स जो है वो एड्रेनालिन है. the body responds with adrenaline. Adrenaline acts directly on your heart. आपके हृदय पे डायरेक्ट उसका असर होता है. आपका हृदय जोर से धक धक करने लगता है. फिर आपका हृदय थक जाता है क्योंकि वो ज्यादा काम करता है. It works more, it gets fatigued, and the same symptoms that I talked of, 5 milligram, 10 milligram, 25 milligram, 50 milligram, angiography, angioplasty, bypass, all these things repeat because you are under stress. When you are under stress, you depend on medication. Medication does not relieve your stress. If you are stressed because your boss is harassing you in the office, medication is not going to improve your boss's temper. If you are stressed because your children are not studying in school, medication is not going to make them study in school. So medication gives you only symptomatic relief. आपको अच्छा लगने का आभास निर्माण करते हैं, आपको अच्छा नहीं करते. दवाइयां आपको अच्छा नहीं करते, आपको अच्छा होने का आभास निर्माण करते हैं. And therefore you feel nice, but actually the stress is eating you from inside. So from both the angles, from the physical angle and from the mental angle, you are constantly getting diminished. आपको शारीरिक और मानसिक रूप से जब आप सर्वसाधारण जीवन जीते हैं तो आपके शरीर में और मन में धोखा उत्पन्न होता है और आप उस धोखे से कमजोर होते जाते हो. यू बिकम वीकर. हाउ डू वी डील विथ फिजिकल इलनेस और डिजीज? फिजिकल डिजीज हो तो होम रेमेडीज हैं. हम कुछ किचन में खा लेते हैं, अजवाइन खा लेते हैं, काली मिर्ची खा लेते हैं, अदरक खा लेते हैं. और हमें पता है कि सर दर्द हुआ तो क्रोसिन खा लेना है, पैरासिटामोल खा लेना है. सेल्फ मेडिकेशन, वी डू सेल्फ मेडिकेशन. और टुडे गूगल डॉक्टर इज अ वेरी फेवरेट. Everybody wants to go to Google and find out what medicine I should consume. और I have a family physician. मेरे घरेलू डॉक्टर के पास जाते हैं या कोई स्पेशलिस्ट के पास जाते हैं या केमिस्ट फार्मेसी में जाके दवाई लेते हैं या अंत में अस्पताल में जाते हैं. All this has consequences. I feel discomfort because I am not physically healthy. My schedule gets disrupted. I need to take sick leave, casual leave, absence of from work. There is disturbance in the family. लोग घर के लोग परेशान हो जाते हैं क्योंकि मैं बीमार हूं. Distress in finance, खर्चा बढ़ जाता है. हॉस्पिटल का खर्चा, डॉक्टर का खर्चा, दवाइयों का खर्चा. डाइवर्जन ऑफ माइंड, काम पे मन नहीं लगता है, काम में गलतियां होती हैं, उसका फिर खामियाना भुगतना पड़ता है. डेंजर ऑफ लॉस, कभी कभी लाइफ, देयर इज अ डेंजर ऑफ लॉस, समटाइम्स इवन लाइफ, एंड समटाइम्स देयर इज डिसेबिलिटी. अब रोज इंसुलिन लेना है तो आई कांट बी केयरलेस, उसका टाइम रहता है. आई हैव टू बी कैरिंग इंसुलिन विथ मी और आई मस्ट बी बैक होम टू टेक माई इंसुलिन शॉट्स. सो देयर इज अ डिसेबिलिटी. या मुझे आर्थराइटिस हो गया, आई कांट सिट ऑन द फ्लोर, आई कांट गेट अप वेरी क्विकली, आई कांट टेक पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट. So all these difficulties are consequences because of my physical condition. What about mental health or diseases? अब ये फिजिकल बीमारी के लिए मेरे पास रास्ते हैं, लेकिन मानसिक बीमारी के लिए मेरे पास कोई रास्ता है ही नहीं, क्योंकि मैं उसको बीमारी समझता ही नहीं. I don't consider mental condition as a disease. The disease of the intellect. I know. हमें कुछ पता नहीं रहता है, लेकिन हम बोलते हैं I know. आजकल के न्यूज चैनल पे आपको ये डिजीज बहुत दिखेगा, आपको बहुत सारी कहानियां सुनाते हैं बिना कोई बैकग्राउंड से. तो आई नो सिंड्रोम तो रहता ही है. डोंट टीच मी, ज्ञान मत दो. तो ऐसे भी लोग मिलते हैं हमें जो बोलते हैं कि मुझे मत सिखाओ. हमारे बच्चे आजकल हमसे कहते हैं डोंट टीच मी, यू डोंट नो एनीथिंग डैड, द वर्ल्ड हैज चेंज्ड, यू आर फ्रॉम द ओल्ड जनरेशन. इग्नोरेंस. हमें पता ही नहीं कि ऐसी कोई चीज मौजूद है. वी आर इग्नोरेंट दैट ब्रेथ इज सच अ पावरफुल मेडिसिन. हमें किसी ने बताया ही नहीं. Nobody told us that breath is a powerful medicine. Then diseases of the emotions. मानसिक दृष्टि से हम चिंता में रहते हैं, हम स्ट्रेस में रहते हैं, हम फियर में रहते हैं. वी आर वरिड, वी आर स्ट्रेस्ड, वी आर अफ्रेड ऑफ सो मेनी थिंग्स. एंड दिस कॉजेज लस्ट, एंगर, ग्रीड, टेम्पटेशन, प्राइड, जेलसी. ये मेरे मन में है, लालसा है, क्रोध है, मत्सर है, लेकिन मैं इनको बीमारी नहीं समझता. I don't consider these conditions of my mind as a disease. What is a disease? Dis-ease. I am not at ease, therefore it is a disease. When I am angry, am I at ease? No. Therefore anger is a disease. When I am jealous, am I at ease? No. भला तेरी कमीज मेरे कमीज से सफेद कैसे? It is a disease. But I don't recognize this as a disease, and therefore I never make an attempt to treat this condition of my mind. And when I don't treat this condition of my mind, I am living with this disease from the day I became aware of these conditions till today. Have you ever gone to a doctor and told him, "Doctor, I get angry very easily. Give me some injection or a tablet"? Has anybody done this? Nobody has done this. Oh, doctor, I am jealous of my neighbor. He has a beautiful car. I don't have that kind of a car. I am jealous of him. Give me a tablet that will reduce my jealousy. Have you done that? Never. You live with your jealousy, with your anger. You live with your greed. You live with your temptation. You live with your lust. You live with all your mental conditions. And you have never attempted to heal yourself. You are living with mental disease throughout your life. Pratibimb and Life and Breath promises you to address these diseases through the techniques that we teach you. And these diseases are burning you up. And therefore the word psychosomatic comes into existence. Psycho is of the mind and somatic is of the cells. When your mind is disturbed, the body is automatically disturbed. Examples. When I am angry or when I am hateful, I have a physical disease of cancer and a mental disease of hatred. When I am in stress, I have physical diseases like back pain or joints pain, herpes and acidity. When I am fearful, I have lung disorders, asthma, ILD, fibrosis. When I am jealous, I have got skin diseases, urticaria. When I have greed, the I want syndrome, I am not only facing dissatisfaction at the mental level, but physically I am also diabetic. When I am stubborn and when I am critical and when I keep constantly complaining, and generally people who are greedy are constantly complaining. Ye nahi hai, wo nahi hai. So when you are in a constant complaint zone, you are inviting diabetes. And then you also have your ego, main koi hu, which leads to quarrels, broken down relationships. It leads to fatigue in your muscles. You have a low self-esteem. Your performance drops at all levels, personal, professional, and social. And therefore, you are facing a lot of troubles because most of the diseases are psychosomatic. 70-80% of the diseases are psychosomatic. You heal your mind, you heal your physical condition, including the dreaded cancer. Many people don't understand that the cause of cancer is pent up anger. And we are getting angry every now and then because we are not happy with the conditions around us. So look at mind as a movie screen. So when you go to the movie, the screen is white. On the screen will come a story. Sometimes you are seeing a horror movie. The screen is still white, but you are seeing a horror movie which scares you. On the same screen, the next week, you will see some religious movie, a very pious social movie. Another week, you go to the same theater on the same white screen, you will see a romantic movie. Another week, you go to the same theater, the same white screen, you will see a spiritual movie. Another week, you go to the same theater, same white screen, you will see a fun movie, celebrations, festivities. The same screen will show you a cartoon movie, Tom and Jerry. The screen remains the same. The screen does not participate in the story. The mind is your backdrop. Everything that is happening in the mind is a story. And the script writer is you, the producer is you, the director is you, the actor is you. Your job is to clean up your mind. How to clean up the mind? That will be the job of Pratibimb and Life and Breath. We will show you the technique of how to clean up the mind. I will not come to clean your mind. That job has to be done by you. I will show you the technique of cleaning up your mind so that you are stress-free, you are jealousy-free, you are anger-free. If not free, you have at least diminished all these diseases, and therefore your physical condition will also improve. All this will be taught to you over the next 20 sessions. Each mind is about perspectives. So here is a perspective. There are two painters painting on the two walls. One painter is saying, just do nothing. And the other painter is saying, it is impossible. And here is one painter who is painting the same thing. And he says, just do it. Nothing is impossible. So life is about how you look at things. If you look at a half glass and you say, mera glass to आधा है, and if you look at the same half glass, दूसरा बोलेगा मेरा glass तो आधा full है. And generally I give example of a Marathi and a Gujarati. मराठी आदमी जेब में 100 रुपया रख के बोलेगा, अरे यार मेरे पास 100 रुपया है, मैं क्या करूंगा, 100 रुपए में आजकल क्या आता है. गुजराती आदमी बोलेगा, मैं तो शेयर मार्केट में लगाऊंगा, 100 का 200 बनाऊंगा, 200 का 2000 बनाऊंगा, 2000 का 2 लाख बनाऊंगा. So it is the way you look at things, how you look at things. हाँ, अपना बुलेट ट्रेन पे एक पॉलिटिशियन ने क्रिटिसिज्म किया था ना, बुलेट ट्रेन क्यों बनाया भाई, सब गुजराती गुजरात से बंबई में आएंगे और बंबई का नुकसान करेंगे, इधर आके पैसा हमारा कमाएंगे. अरे भाई वही बुलेट ट्रेन बंबई से गुजरात भी जाती है, आप लोग जाओ ना अहमदाबाद में, उधर धंधा. It is not a one-way traffic. Bullet train works both ways. If the Gujaratis can come to Mumbai, you can go to Ahmedabad. जाओ उधर. तो नहीं, रोना धोना एक पर्सपेक्टिव है और अपॉर्चुनिटी एनकैश करना इज अनदर पर्सपेक्टिव. Emoto was a Japanese experimenter who experimented with water crystals. So he had bottles of water and he experimented by talking to the water with different emotions. So in one bottle, he kept water and continuously bombarded that water with the statement, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. Then when the water was frozen, the frozen crystals had this look. And another bottle, he was constantly saying, I love you, and I love you. And the water crystals took this shape. Now, why this is important? There is a debate whether Emoto's experiments are valid or not, but that's a scientific debate, and there is a technical debate about verification and all that. So let's not go into the scientific debates. Our body is made up of 70% water. If I am constantly cribbing and crying कि मेरे लाइफ में प्रॉब्लम है, लफड़ा है, पैसा नहीं है, मेरा इसके साथ बनता नहीं है, ये लोग मेरी लाइफ बर्बाद कर रहे हैं, you are constantly bombarding the water in your body with negative thoughts and negative words. The crystals in your body are getting distorted and damaged. But if you talk the same thing in a positive manner, that everything is fine, I get food to eat, my eyes can see, my hands are working, my legs are walking, my stomach is digesting, my lungs are exchanging oxygen and carbon dioxide, I'm free from medicines, I have good clothes to wear, I have good food to eat, I have a shelter, I have work to do. All the positive things that are happening in your life, if you acknowledge them, the water in your body will be taking beautiful shapes like the crystal shown to you on the screen. And then your life will improve. 70% of your body is water. Change the structure of the water inside your body, the structure of your life will improve. Take just 5 minutes. There are 3 million or 30 lakh blood cells which get destroyed per second in our body. But that's not worry. That's not a worrisome activity. They also get replaced at the same rate by new cells. New cells are getting born. 30 lakh blood cells get born every second. So there is a transaction happening, like the share market. Vechina, kharid lo. So that transaction is happening in the body. 30 lakh cells are destroyed, 30 lakh cells are getting generated. Multiply by 60 seconds per minute, you get 18 crore cells or 180 million cells. Multiply by 5 minutes and you get 90 crore cells or 900 million cells. For 5 minutes, now listen very carefully. Some of you feel that, oh, this is too intense a course, 20 Sundays, what will I do? How will I find the time? I am requesting you just for 5 minutes, and I'm sure you can all spend 5 minutes. In those 5 minutes, keep your mobile out, keep everything out, shut the door, sit in one room, and focus on one prayer that you are fond of. You can pray anything. Oh Lord, thou art in heaven. If you are fond of Jesus, you can pray to Jesus. Or La ilaha illallah Muhammadul Rasulullah. If you are a Muslim, you can chant your Muslim prayers. Or you can chant your Gayatri mantra. Or whatever prayer you are fond of. 5 minutes, chant that prayer every day. Now, this is not something difficult that I am asking you. Within 1 to 2 months, you will see a great change in your life. Please write to me that I practiced and I found this change in my life. I am asking you to invest only 5 minutes. You may not join this course. If you have decided not to join this course, I am not forcing you. If you join this course, you will reap greater benefits. But if you decide not to join this course, at least do this slide. 5 minutes, chant your favorite prayer every day in the same place at the same time. In 2 months, you will see a huge transformation because the quality of the blood cells will improve. And I'm giving you examples of only blood cells. There are other cells in your body which are experiencing the same prayer for the 5 minutes. So all the cells in your body will improve. I want you to practice this. Whether we meet again or not is not important. I would be happy if you come back and join this course from next Sunday. But should you decide not to join, at least do this. This is your takeaway from today's introduction. This is your free gift from Pratibimb. 5 minutes of chanting and see how your life changes. I cannot say more than this because this has to be experienced. In words, the power of chanting will never come to you. Now, if you want some proof, then hold up your hands in front of your eyes, both your hands. Hold up your hands in front of your eyes. Now see on the screen, I have marked the bottom line of the middle finger of both the hands. So I want you to join the bottom line of the middle finger and make a namaskar in front of you like this. join the bottom line of the middle finger and make the namaskar in front of you. Now I want you to note which finger is taller. Is the right middle finger taller than the left, or the left middle finger taller than the right, or are both the fingers of the same height? Some of you may find both fingers of the same height, and some of you may find one finger is taller than the other. This was a scientific experiment conducted in one of the universities in Dubai.
Approximately by little margin, the right finger is taller a bit.
Thanks. Shrikant, thanks for sharing this. All of you, please note whether your fingers are equal or one is taller than the other. Right? Now, having done that, I want you to sit quietly for 1 to 2 minutes and in your mind, start saying, so suppose Shrikant, your right finger is slightly taller than the left, right?
Yes.
So I want you to chant in your mind, my left finger is taller, my left finger is taller, my left finger is taller for 1 to 2 minutes. So those of you who have noticed a difference in the height of the finger, chant the opposite for 1 to 2 minutes. I'm going to keep quiet. You close your eyes, focus on your finger and start chanting. Now open your eyes and check the height of the fingers.
Apparently, both are of the same height now.
So something happened, right?
Yes.
Something happened by simply chanting, right?
Yeah.
This is the power of chanting. This is the power of chanting mantras. And I'm happy that you have experienced it firsthand. So you don't have to believe what I say. You experience it. Melody khao, khud jaan jao. तो थोड़ा सा साइंस बात करते हैं. Our brain has a lot of waves. They are called gamma waves, beta waves, alpha waves, theta waves, delta waves. Some also say sigma waves. And each wave represents something. So if you see the delta wave, it is at the lowest frequency. And this is where you are in deep sleep. Then you will see theta waves. Generally, they are visualization, trance, dreaming, and meditation. So when you are entering into meditation for the purpose of resting, then meditation will take you into the delta state and you will go to sleep. Then there is the alpha wave, which is from 8 to 12 hertz. That is also for meditation, but this meditation takes you to an elevated level of consciousness, alertness, concentration, thinking. It takes you into the beta zone, and from the beta zone into the gamma zone. Now, gamma waves are the waves of the highly evolved souls, like the evolved Swamis, the Vivekanands, the Chinmayanands, the Himalayan monks, the Buddhist monks who are constantly meditating. So you will see the frequency is at a very elevated level. If you are meditating daily and you are meditating for evolving your spirituality, then you enter into the gamma waves. But if you are meditating for resting, then you go into the delta waves. So this is just to give you a scientific explanation of what is happening when you learn meditation, which is one of the subjects in our course, which will be taught to you from next Sunday onwards when we do the 20 lessons. Now here is a chart which shows you opposites: black, white, short, tall, billionaire, pauper, illiterate, literate, Christian, Muslim. Christian, Muslim is not opposite, but they consider that our religion is superior to your religion. Therefore, I have put them into opposites. Now, these are all narratives. These are all stories which are created by the human brain. This is not reality. Reality is this. Everybody has a human body, a human mind, and a human prana energy. Inside my body, there is prana energy. Whether I am a Christian or a Muslim, whether I am an American or a Chinese, whether I am an Australian or a Mongolian, the common factor is body, mind, and energy. We as human beings create these narratives, and then we start fighting about these narratives. I am superior to you, you are inferior to me. All these are quarrels. And these quarrels have created the problems in the world. If we came back to the basics, that I am a human being just like any other human being on earth, then most of these quarrels will vanish. We don't understand that we are all human beings. How to heal the body and the mind? Breathing exercises will heal your body through purification of your blood. Meditation will heal your mind by regulating the brain waves. And then there are certain laws of living. We know but don't understand simple things. If you plant a coconut, will you get mangoes? Impossible. There is a law in nature which is called law of cause and effect. Reap as you sow. Law of karma. If you plant a coconut, you will never get a mango. You will only get coconut trees. And this law is infallible. This law has no exceptions. But we don't understand. So many a times we question the effects in our lives. मेरे जिंदगी में ऐसे क्यों हुआ? I keep asking this question, मेरे जिंदगी में ऐसे क्यों हुआ? Because I don't understand this law. So this law will also be explained to you in detail. Many other laws will be explained to you in detail in the course. So let's take one story. There was a driver who was driving very slowly in front of me. And he was not giving me way to overtake him. So I started honking. Pap, 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 pap. I started honking. Then I suddenly noticed a sticker on the windshield. And the sticker said, "Disabled driver, be patient." Suddenly my mood changed. I stopped honking and I became protective towards the driver in front of me. My entire disposition towards this irritating driver in front of me changed. I was no longer irritated. My irritation stopped. People in our lives don't have stickers, like the car had a sticker. People have wounds. We don't see those wounds, just like I did not see that the driver was disabled. There are emotional wounds. We are unaware of the wounds and we keep disturbing these people and we get irritated with these people. We honk, we shout, we abuse. We do have empathy in us, but we aren't conscious. And some of the lessons in Life and Breath, which you will learn from next Sunday, will teach you how to deal with wounds not only of yourself, but of also other people in your lives. So it will give you a mechanism to become a harmonious individual. So that brings me to the history of Life and Breath, the program. It was started in Nalanda University 1200 years ago. The person who started it was Guru Padmasambhav. Nalanda University, as you know, was burned down by invaders. Guru Padmasambhav and Adi Shankaracharya belong to the same time, from the same era. Guru Padmasambhav had a dream that his university would be destroyed, so he ran away to Tibet and taught the Tibetan monks this science. One Britisher by the name of Edwin John Dingle came to the Tibet monastery and he learned this science, acquired the name of Guru Dinglemi, which is his Tibetan name, went back to USA, settled in California and started the Institute of Mental Physics. Jyotirmayanand, who was known as K.S. Ramanathan, who lived in Chembur, Mumbai, he got to know of mental physics and he acquired the science by postal correspondence. He started teaching this science in his house. He had two students. One was Justice Dudhat and the other was Divekar sir from Aditya Birla Group. He was vice president in one of their companies. They both started separate divisions Justice Dudat started Brahma Vidya Mission. Divekar sir started Brahma Vidya Sadhak Sangh. And they started teaching this science to people in Mumbai. That is how I learned this science. And in 2017, we started Pratibimb Charitable Trust and gave it a more acceptable name to the common man, Life and Breath, because unfortunately, Brahma Vidya was ascribed a color of a religion. So we gave it a generic name, Life and Breath. Anyone above the age of 18 can join. There is no restriction on community, religion, or sex. Here is one testimonial from one of our students. She is Dr. Sonia Chandratre. My name is Dr. Sonia Chandratre. I am a homeopathic physician. My sister introduced me to this course of Life and Breath. As a doctor, I joined this course to enhance my physical well-being, but I was pleasantly surprised from day one of the course, as the course modules were designed to enhance physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. You can read more of the testimonials on our website, which is pratibimtrust.com. You will go to the testimonial section and you can read more of them. Couple of students who are attending today's introduction, they will also share their experiences for your benefit. Let me proceed further before I invite them to share their benefits. Pratibimb also does a lot of charitable work. All the members of Pratibimb work selflessly. There is no remuneration for either the trustees or the teachers or the volunteers of Pratibimb. Not a single rupee. Surplus funds are utilized in charitable activity. Charitable activities personally conducted or supervised by Pratibimb's team of volunteers. We don't do checkbook charity. We personally get engaged in the charitable work. Pratibimb never asks for donations. We get them voluntarily from individuals and corporates as CSR. So here is some of the charitable work that Pratibimb has carried out. In the Sangli relief project in 2019, we distributed 70 pieces of kitchen utensils to 53 families. Two of our students, Dr. Sanjeev and Dr. Vrunda Patil. Vrunda was a original resident of Sangli, so she arranged the entire thing. And we personally, Mohanji, our trustee, arranged for the utensils, the packaging, the transport. And 5-6 members of Pratibimb went to Sangli and personally distributed the packages to the villagers in a temple hired for that purpose. In 2020, there was a cyclone in the Raigad district and village Bhoste was dilapidated. 16 houses were destroyed. We constructed, you will see the destroyed houses here, and Pakka construction done by Pratibimb here. Naresh Padia, one of our trustees, who is also attending here. He is doing the inauguration of these 16 houses that Pratibimb built in 2020. In 2021, in Savarde, this is the hamlet, the village. This is the site where we constructed this check dam. Earlier, by November, all the water, rainwater used to flow away and the river would be dry. Now we have constructed this check dam, and till the next monsoon, the dam holds water which will give water for the farmers alongside, as well as drinking water to the cattle that is found in this region. So this is the nameplate of Pratibimb on that check dam. In Raigad district, in Mangwadi, that same cyclone had destroyed 13 houses. This is the destruction that you can see. And these are the houses that we constructed. Again, this is Naresh Padia and our chartered accountant, Mr. Rajendra Mahimkar, who are inaugurating that project. Then during COVID time, Nair Hospital built a COVID-infected maternity ward. So they requested for an operation theatre lamp for that temporary ward which they had erected, and this lamp was supplied by Pratibimb. The annual maintenance, the fitting and all that was done by Pratibimb, and we got recognized by a letter from the municipality which was addressed to us. Then in 2022 in Megdevpada, there was a primary school. Now this structure you are seeing is the school. This is where children from 1st standard to 5th standard used to be herded together and taught by one teacher. So we undertook this project of constructing a new school. The new school was constructed. That is the inauguration. This is Naresh, Suresh and Mohanji, our trustees, who have gone for the inauguration. This was the new school constructed. These are the school students. This is Suresh, who is being felicitated. And this is our nameplate on that school. There was another primary school at Savarde. This is the state of that school. This is actually a school where students attended for learning. We saw the school in this condition and we constructed this school. This is the teacher. These are our representatives. Sushma, who is learning to be a teacher, and Jagrati. They went and gifted a computer to that school. The school walls are painted with a lot of educative material. This was the write-up in one of the local papers, and this teacher has worked very hard to get an ISO certification for this school. So this is another charitable work that Pratibimb carried out. Then there is a secondary school in Karegaon, which has 680 students. We got a CSR funding from PH Finance, which is owned by one of our students. And we constructed a computer lab. This computer lab is now in full utilization. 8 batches are being conducted every day. Our volunteers have done great work in supervising this activity and bringing it to fruition. All the computers were supplied by Pratibimb, all the furniture, all the civil construction work of a dilapidated building was done by Pratibimb. Then there is an animal ashram in Ganeshpuri, and a request came from the main trustee, Genevieve Dubhash, and we have periodically assisted the animal farm for setting up certain structures and provisions. The last donation that we made was 1,10,000 for this animal farm. There are several dogs and cats being taken care of, especially those who are injured in accidents. It's a very noble activity this lady is doing. Then we did a solar-powered irrigation project in Mokhada. 2.5 kilometers of pipeline was laid down, and now water is available through these solar panels and the pump to the farms alongside. There are flourishing farms already alongside this water supply. Then there is a young patient who was suffering from the Guillain-Barré syndrome, GBS, and her father is a very small income earner. So she requested for assistance. So far, we have paid 33,600 towards her weekly physiotherapy, and there is a request from him, which you are seeing on this slide. Respected sir, the therapy sessions are definitely helping, but he needs more of this assistance, and Pratibimb is pledged to continue to assist him till Vedika recovers. Then we have recently completed another check dam at Wakadpada village, Palghar. Human population is 840, animals are 450. Water supply also goes to a high school in the same. And expected time of completion was May, and it has been completed in May through the funding given by AdTech India Private Limited, Profab Industries Private Limited, which is a company of our trustee Mohan, and Concept Pharmaceuticals Limited. On 1st May, 9 couples were married at Vikramgarh, and the entire expense of the marriage and the ceremonies and the lunch for the entire village was funded by Pratibimb. So some of us attended. Here is me giving some gifts to one of the couples. Other activities of Pratibimb, we have an annual, we have a weekly program called Face to Face, where question answers are given on contemporary personal issues. This is a pre-recorded program and it is aired on YouTube. So you are invited to watch this program and spread it around so that everybody gets the benefit of seeing this. We have recently started a program on ancient Indian wisdom, where on YouTube Live, certain ancient Indian practices are explained on the modern platform. There is another annual spiritual program called Bhajan Sandhya and an annual cultural event called Bimb O Dhamaka. This year's Bhajan Sandhya will be held on 23rd June at 4:30 p.m. at Maheshwari Bhavan, New Link Road. You are all invited. Please be there. You're not expected to pay anything. Just attend the Bhajan Sandhya. Join the residential camp, which will happen at Keshav Srushti, Rambhav Malgi Prabodhini of Bhayandar in the village of Uttan. We conduct residential camps. This camp is at from 28th to 30th June, residential, all paid for. You will get the details on our website. Our batch number 29, starts from next Sunday, and I'm sure many of you will register for this. Request from Pratibimb, please bring in your relatives and friends into our program. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like and share. Watch, like, share face-to-face episodes every Friday. Watch, like, share Ancient Indian Wisdom, live YouTube. Join our flagship Life and Breath curriculum online. Join our advanced course, Life is Mind, Body, Spirit, Limbs. Experience the magic. Can I request some of the participating members who would like to share their experience?
Yes, sir. Shall I start? I
Who's
would
that?
like to share, Rajesh.
Rajesh, yes, go ahead.
Am I audible?
Yes,
Okay.
you are.
So first of all, I would like to thank Praveen sir actually for a wonderful 20 sessions that I attended. The last session, the 20th batch. And I would like to also thank the Pratibimb for giving me this opportunity to share my own experiences. So to start with, actually, most of the people who have joined this program definitely would have been recommended by their friends, relatives, colleagues, and might be family members. And I was also introduced to this program by one of my very dear friends, Trupti Nakre. She has been a friend to me for last 32 years. And she was pursuing me to attend this program and get introduced to a wonderful experience basically on my overall well-being. And I would like to share that when I started this program, obviously I was very skeptical about it, to be honest. I used to jokingly tell my wife that I do a whistleblowing every Sunday. And you'll know when you join this program next week, you'll know what I'm talking about, what is whistleblowing. So, CT Marnega. So, I used to jokingly tell her. But when I started this program, actually, from day one, I started getting the benefits of it. One of the most important benefits that I would like to share here is that I was personally taking medication for blood pressure for last 4 years. When I started, actually, when I got detected the high blood pressure, my blood pressure used to be usually around 140/90. And I resisted a lot by talking to my doctor that I don't want to start the medication, but eventually I had to give up and started my medication with 40 milligrams of telmisartan. And I was really every day when I used to take that medication, I used to feel really bad and depressed about taking medication. When I started this program, and all of a sudden I started feeling much better, and so I started testing my blood pressure. I have a blood pressure meter in my house, so I started checking it, and I found that my blood pressure was started going down right from 140 to 135 to 130. And eventually at the end of the program, actually my blood pressure came to around 120, 120/80. When I did that, I went to my doctor and I said that, okay, I have this experience that my blood pressure has come down to 120/80. Obviously, after taking the medication also with 40 milligrams, the blood pressure used to be always at 140, 145. It will never used to come down, even after taking the medication. So I went to the doctor and said that now with this program, I don't know what has happened, but my blood pressure is quite consistent. It is in the range of 120, 125. And can I reduce the medication to 20 milligrams rather than 40? And he said, okay, you can try it out for a month and see whether it really works. And when I started reducing to 20 milligrams, my blood pressure still is at 120/80. And I feel that probably that 20 milligrams is a placebo. It doesn't work with the tablets. It actually works with the breathing exercise that has been done, that I've been doing it consistently over the last 20 weeks. In fact, every day, not a single day I have ever missed out doing this exercise for the last 4 months or 5 months, and that's I think given me a wonderful experience. My overall health has improved a lot. My stamina at the end of the day is absolutely the same as what I feel in the morning when I get up. So I think that's something which I would like to really share here. And whatever I would like to thank my people who have joined this on Sunday. A lot of my colleagues, my friends, my family members have joined this program. I would like to thank them for sparing this 1.5 hours on this Sunday. And I would like to really request each of them and all the members here present to really join this course. It's going to benefit a lot individually. I'm pretty sure about it from my own experience. Thank you. Thank you, Pratibimb, for this.
Thank you, Rajesh. Now, for people who don't know, Rajesh is a CEO of a very big pharmaceutical company in Bangalore, Micro Labs. Their annual turnover is in the region of 6,000 crores. So he's a pharmaceutical man who is telling that he has given up pharmaceutical medicine. So there is a lot of weightage in what he's saying. I am a pharmacist and I also recommend please avoid medicines. And it is possible for you to do that if you are diligent as Rajesh has been diligent. So thanks for sharing that, Rajesh.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
I would like to share.
Leena, you want to share?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Sir, first of all, I want to thank you for the amazing sessions which we have had. It was wonderful. Not only the breathing I have learned, but more, much more. And I still want to learn. That's why I have rejoined the program for that. And this session, the breathing techniques have helped my asthma a lot. Now I don't say it's my asthma. It I'm off that. I'm happy that I'm able to breathe because I know what it is not being able to breathe. Even I earlier thought that no, this is not going to help me. And like a fool, I didn't follow your advice. And whenever there was every Sunday the new session, I would not practice until I decided that no, I continued the sessions, but I was not practicing. Only on Sundays I was doing it. But then later I said, no, I want to start doing it. And then I started doing it in the practice sessions. And that practice sessions have really, really helped me a lot. And now I cannot miss once also that session. But I have just come for a vacation to US. I've just joined from there. And I'm look see the timings how it is. I will definitely get back. It has helped me not only in my breathing but also in my spinal postures. By my the spine, I have a thoracic slip disc and a lower back problem. So it has helped me. And the first breathing exercise, the memory developing, when I first joined, I remember telling you I will not be able to do it. I did only 7 at that time. And today I'm able to do all the complete 7, 14, 14, 14 set. I'm really happy that I can do it. And it has really helped my upper back, shoulder, spine posture and everything. I'm very confident now that this is really going to help me in future a lot. And I have someone with me, my friend. He would like to join from US. So yeah,
Hello.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. Yeah, so I was just curious as to if I join, which means it's right, like right now it's about 9:30 here. So we're like 12 and a half hours behind. You said there are 20 sessions, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. And can I arrange for the payment through a credit card, or how does that work?
Yeah, I think Naresh will get in touch with you. We
Yeah.
have a facility for receiving payment in US dollars.
Okay,
So,
wonderful.
Naresh will talk to you.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'll how do I connect with whoever it is? Should I
He
send
will
my email?
connect with you.
Okay.
He
Okay.
will connect with Leena, and maybe
Okay.
Leena can
Sounds
share
good.
your number and
Wonderful.
yeah.
I
Thanks,
want this
thanks,
course to
thanks.
help. I want to spread this course. It's going to help lots of people. I
Thank
know
you
the
so much.
value of it. Thank you,
Thank you.
sir. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
A quick share, Roma. You want to share quickly?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for all these last 2.5 years of association with Pratibimb and wonderful mind-blowing techniques by which I have avoided my knee replacement surgery. I have cured my golf elbows, and now to send recent thankful results related to my blood pressure. I became a blood pressure patient and started taking Telma 20 since last 4 years. And I continuously was taking 9 a.m., 9 p.m. Telma 20 since last 4 years. Of course, I had joined 2.5 years back, this Pratibimb, and I cured within the first very 6 months and avoided the knee replacement surgery. But I was not very sure of leaving Telma 20. Of recently, I just thought that I might as well try to get rid of my this blood pressure medicines. So I consulted my doctor and I told him, narrated my all experiences, previous experiences, and he said, "Okay, Roma, will let us try." And I was monitoring my blood pressure thrice a day. And I gradually, under the medical supervision, I left Telma 20, and today I'm absolutely free from Telma 20 since last around 3 months. And I'm extremely, extremely thankful and grateful. And with gratitude, I would like to thank all those who are really dealing such wonderful activities with Pratibimb Charitable Trust. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you, Roma. Nawal Shah, you want to say something? I think that's all for the moment. So I hope to see all of you next Sunday at 9 a.m. And thank you for attending, sparing your 1.5 hours on a Sunday morning and being patient with us. But I can promise you a real transformation should you choose to join.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And namaste.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you.